seated. Sit straight and erect. Close your eyes. Let us begin today's prayer session with 3 rounds of Omkara. Inhale. Chapter 11, first shloka. अर्जुन उवाच मदनुग्रहाय परमम् गुह्यमध्यात्मसंज्ञितम् यत्त्वयोक्तं वचस्तेन मोहोऽयं विगतो मम. Meaning, Arjuna said, having heard the supremely confidential spiritual knowledge which you have revealed out of compassion for me, my illusion is now dispelled.
Namaste everyone, Suprabhatam. So today we are starting a new chapter, chapter number 11, the topic of which is Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. So Darshana means vision, Rupa means form. So it is the form of Ishvara, Vishwarupa, so that which is in the form of the entire world. First, let us understand that when we want to have darshana of a particular form of Ishvara, Rama, Krishna, Shiva, what is the method to do that? So what we do? We concentrate or meditate on that particular form of Ishvara, the description of that form. And along with that, some mantra also is given. With that mantra, we are supposed to do Purascharana. What is Purascharana? In any mantra, there will be particular number of letters. Suppose there are 8 letters. We have to multiply that with lakh or crore and repeat that many times of that mantra that many times. That is called Purascharana. So not at one go, every day some time is allotted and the person continues to do that over a few years, they complete that. So Gayatri mantra, suppose it has 24 letters. For Purascharana, we have to multiply with lakh, means 24 lakhs time we have to do. And for better result, 24 crores also people do. So for having one form of the Ishvara Darshana, this is the method, meditation and Purascharana. And here it is Vishwarupa Darshana, vision of the Lord whose form is the entire world. Now here we have to get out of some misconceptions that we might have. That Vishwarupa Darshana also, one particular form of Ishvara appearing for a particular period of time and again disappearing at a particular place. It is not so. Vision of Vishwarupa means that seeing the entire world as the form of Ishvara. And how to train the mind? By understanding the teaching given. See that entire world is nothing but manifestation of the Ishvara only. Because Ishvara is the material cause. See, any creation will require 2 types of causes. One is creator, who is also called intelligent cause, and second is material cause. Take example of this table. It requires a carpenter, who is creator or intelligent cause, and it also requires wood, which is material cause. So these 2 are required. But what about the entire creation? God alone is both intelligent cause and material cause as well. But in general, what we see, the intelligent cause is separate entity and the material cause is separate entity. Like the carpenter is separate and wood is separate. For that, how to resolve the conflict? We have to remember the example of the spider that we have repeated few times. So spider is the entity which is the same entity as creator and also material cause. So we may not like spider in our room, but for Vedantic understanding, spider is very important. Okay? And the rule is that whatever is material cause, that can never be separated from the product. From this table, can you separate the wood? No. If you separate the wood, there will be no table. And since Ishvara is the material cause of the entire world, we can never separate world from the Ishvara. So whatever appearance is there in front of me, in that form I see different version of same God only. Just like when you see different ornaments, you see different version of the same gold alone. So after we receive the knowledge and assimilate the knowledge, our way to see the world changes. We get a new perspective that is called Divya Chakshuhu. This word will come in this chapter also. Divya Chakshuhu means divine eye. It is the eye of wisdom, eye of knowledge, through which whatever I see darshana of Ishvara only. Now in this chapter, from shloka number 1 to 10, it is the introduction of the chapter. Total 55 shlokas are there. First 10 shlokas is giving the introduction to the chapter. And in that also, shloka number 1 and 2, Arjuna is summarizing that up to chapter 10, what he has understood. And in shloka number 1, Arjuna is summarizing from chapter 2 to chapter 6, whatever he has understood, and he is expressing his gratitude. We'll see the pada vicheda now. Madanugrahaya paramam guhyam adhyatma sangritam yat tvaya uktam vachaha tena mohaha ayam vigataha mama. For the understanding, we have to rearrange the words a little bit, so please pay attention. So first we have to take tvaya, third line you can come. Tvaya uktam vachaha. This knowledge was given by you to me. For what reason? Madanugrahaya. For the purpose of blessing me, so that I can come out of the problem of samsara. And what type of knowledge that is? For that three words are being used. Yat paramam, that which is the most sacred, most valuable. Second word, guhyam, that which is the greatest secret. It is not easily available. This knowledge is not easily available. Third word is adhyatma sangnitam. It means the spiritual words dealing with the knowledge of self or atma. Then tena mohaha ayam vigataha mama. By those teaching, whatever delusion I had, that is gone. What was the delusion? So Arjuna was having conflict. In one side of the mind, he was thinking, killing my gurus, it is mahapapam. Other side of the mind was saying that even himsa, fighting is okay for protection of dharma. Even Bhagavan says, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam. So it was dharma yuddha. That also he was having. At the same time, he was thinking, killing my guru's elders, that is mahapapam. He was having this delusion, and then he surrendered to Lord Krishna. Then in chapter 2, Lord has given the knowledge. And he has tried to convince Arjuna from two angles. What are the two angles? That first, you understand that Atma's nature, essential nature of individual. This physical body is temporary dress. So that temporary dress, I am not. Even the mind, we identify with. We say, I am happy, I am angry, I am irritated, or I am calm. So I am identifying with the mind. Even that mind does not have permanent presence. Like in waking state, in dream state, mind is active. But in deep sleep state, even mind we are not using. So our essential nature is that which is not the part, product or property of the body. What are you seeing here now? What is this? Hand. But one more thing you are seeing here. Hand plus light. Only then you are able to see the hand, right? So this light, is it a part, product or property of the body? No. But it is independent entity which is pervading the hand and enlivening the body, the hand also. Pervading and enlivening the hand. But it is not part, product or property of the body. And even after the fall of the body, this consciousness principle that does not disappear. Take the example of pot space. Space is there now in the entire room. If I create a pot here, clay pot, space will also be there inside the pot, correct? But when the pot is broken, what happens to the space? Does it also break? No. It remains as space. So the consciousness principle that we are, that is always there even after the fall of the body. So Krishna says, Na jayate mriyate va kadachit. So this Atma which I really am, my essential nature, like wave and ocean, the essential nature is same. What? Salt water. So for me, for all of us, the essential nature of us is consciousness principle, the witness, Sakshi Chaitanya. So that does not die. So if you consider Bhishma Pitamaha, Dronacharya, everybody to be that consciousness principle, they are not dying. So Arjuna, don't grieve, don't have shoka. And then he comes down little down. How? Saying that even if you don't understand Atma, just think that physical body's nature is to die. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. So there is, the fall of the body is going to happen even if you don't fight in the war. So there is no question of grieving. Even if you understand Atma Tattva or not, there is no question of grieving. So Arjuna has understood that knowledge and here he is expressing his gratitude. Thank you.
Suprabhatam. I'm very happy to introduce, we have a guest today, Sri Atulji. Adhanaya Atulji, Kshetra Pracharak of Maharashtra Prant of Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. I request Atulji to hoist the flag. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kashyit dukha bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Janagana mana adhinayaka jaya he bharata bhagya vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Uchala Jaladi Taranga Tava Shubha Name Jage Tava Shubha Ashisha Mage Gane Tava Jaya Gata Janagana Mangala Dayaka Jaya He Bharata Bhagya Vidhata Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He Jaya 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 He Bolo Bharat Mata Ki Jai Vande Mataram